My recollections span the period from the emergency in India in 1975 until the mid-1990s. Was it first when George Fernandez, who was staying in disguise in our home in Delhi during the emergency, or at the residence of Babu Trilok Singh, my senior colleague in the Rajya Sabha? I am not very certain when I first met and got to know Narendra Bhai. He was with the RSS and later with the BJP. We both were from Gujarat and we both spoke Gujarati, and although he was many years younger, I felt him to be like a younger brother, and he returned my sentiment with all the love and affection that an older sister gets. One of the most endearing things that Gandhi Ji, my grandfather, taught me was that leading a simple life does not take away the responsibility to be clean, neatly dressed, and always presentable. Narendra Bhai reminded me of my grandfather's teaching. He was always unerringly punctual, always neatly attired, and always warm and ever ready to help. He continues to be so even today. My college education was in Nagpur. I knew Narendra Bhai was from the RSS, and I could see how the RSS had instilled in him these excellent qualities. On a side note, I firmly believe that in today's Bharat, RSS is probably among the few organizations that have kept alive the basic Gandhian thoughts of stressing on Anushashan, that is discipline, punctuality, Swachhata, that is cleanliness, Swadeshi, that is made in India, Swavlamban, that is self-reliance, Swadharma, one's duty. The divine and Narendra Bhai's own willpower have instilled these qualities in him in ample measure. Those were turbulent years in the politics of India. Sectarian politics were eating away at the national fabric, and to that the decades of 70s, 80s and 90s added regional challenges. So these issues naturally became topic of informal discussion also. As a Rajya Sabha member from Gujarat, I was deeply worried about the heavy infiltration from Pakistan to the border districts of Gujarat and the demographic change that such infiltration was bringing. Although I had shared this many times with Mrs. Indira Gandhi, no one in the Congress party took serious note of this issue, but I clearly remember how Narendra Bhai showed keen interest in my concern. Even at that young age, I sensed a keen intellect and a mind that observed and cared about such matters. I knew through our discussion that he fully understood that the stability of our border region was fundamental to the stability of India. His youth and the clarity of the thought that it brings were refreshing. He was clearly committed to national issues, and the politics of the moment didn't seem to diffuse his focus, even though in those days he was fully seized with the challenges that rural women faced, especially with regards to personal hygiene, access to clean drinking water, stable electricity supply, primary health for their families, etc. Later on, when he became BJP in charge of Himachal and Haryana, he seemed to have a false impression that I had travelled extensively abroad. I clearly remember how he would often invite me and urge me to visit Himachal Pradesh and experience its pristine natural beauty. He would passionately extol the beauty of the Himalayas and wish that someday our people would appreciate and value our own natural beauty in Bharat as they do for Switzerland and other nations. Bapuji always told us to be the change that we wish to see. Narendra Bhai is the change we have all wished to see for our beloved Bharat. Although true to his personality, Narendra Bhai himself does not realize how important he is to the future of Bharat and how significant a positive change he has brought to our beloved motherland. He has restored the dignity of our deep spiritual heritage. Along with that, the self-respect and dignity that every citizen of Bharat should always have. It is my prayer to the Divine that may Narendra Bhai and his team continue to be protected, guided and blessed in their mission to weld back our fractured psyche and weld back Bharat Mata.